Well, folks, the elections are behind us, and we added the Freedom Amendment into the Iowa State Constitution. But what's next for gun owners as we approach 2023? Hi, guys. Aaron Dorr here with Iowa Gun Owners. The elections here in Iowa in November were a smashing success. Cindy Axne is gone. Deidre DeJear is gone. We added major protections for our gun rights in our state constitution, and we have secured major majorities here in Des Moines in both the House and the Senate. And that means that next session will be a great opportunity for gun owners to expand our gun rights in several key areas. Guys, IGO has three major bills in the pipeline right now as we approach the upcoming legislative session. Number one is the Second Amendment Preservation Act. We call it SAPA for short. You guys probably know what SAPA is. You know, Joe Biden lost control of the House thanks to Cindy Axne getting kicked out by gun owners here in Iowa. So he can't ram bills through the House at the same speed he has for the last couple of years, but that won't stop him from signing more executive orders attacking our gun rights. When it comes to that, we've got two options. Number one is court, and number two is the Second Amendment Preservation Act, or SAPA. You see, here's a little secret that Joe Biden doesn't want to admit. He can sign all the orders he wants. At the end of the day, however, he is counting on Iowa cops to enforce his unconstitutional gun control agenda here in Iowa. But this is our state, not Joe Biden's. We employ our own cops to enforce our own laws using our own tax money. And if Iowa asserts their authority and tells Joe Biden, these are our cops, they work for us, they're not going to be an appendage to your federal gun control agenda, then all of a sudden, Iowa's troopers, Iowa's deputies, Iowa city cops no longer will be allowed to enforce Joe Biden's gun control agenda. SAPA law is in effect right now in Missouri, right to our south. And in Missouri, local cops enforce local laws. And so all of Joe Biden's agenda has fallen flat on its butt in Missouri. The same thing can happen here in Iowa. We're not telling the feds what they can or can't do here in Iowa. We're simply telling them, you're not going to tell us what we have to do in our own state. That's what SAPA law does. So once we pass SAPA, Iowa cops will enforce Iowa laws when it comes to firearms, ammo, and accessories. And that's it. And because we know that some of our bluer cities, your Des Moines, your Iowa cities, maybe even your Waterloos and Sioux cities, would like to violate this, we have teeth built into Iowa's SAPA law that allows individual gun owners whose rights are violated to sue those agencies in civil court. SAPA is the next step for gun rights here in Iowa. That's objective number one. But we can't forget that besides using orders to simply attack us, executive level orders, Biden is also using the old tried and true method of trying to bribe the states into accomplishing his agenda. Everyone knows that last summer, Joe Biden passed a major federal gun control bill. Joni Ernst helped make this happen. Never forget that. And it gave Joe Biden $750 million to use to bribe the states that pass red flag gun seizures. So if Iowa, for example, were to enact red flag laws, they get a check from the DOJ for, who knows, it could be 10 million, it could be 40 million, it could be $60 million. We don't know. The DOJ won't say. But it's going to be a lot because their goal is to get one state, one red state, to enact red flag laws and use that to kind of create this domino effect they can use in other red states across the country. Now, I would like to assume that a red flag gun seizure law finally is dead here in Iowa. We'll wait to see. But we're not going to wait and see what happens. Our goal is to ban red flag gun seizures here in Iowa. Our bill would ban red flag laws here in Iowa, but also it would ban the use of federal money to enforce any form of a red flag gun seizure law. Now, some people and some other organizations try to claim there's good and there's bad red flag gun seizures. For us, this is really simple. If there's no conviction for a disqualifying federal felony crime in court, You should never lose your firearms, period. So there can be no good form of red flag gun seizure laws because their whole premise is that before you've been convicted of a crime in court, your guns will be confiscated. Our goal is to not just defeat those, but ban those here in Iowa. That's our second bill. The third big push this year needs to be to expand or enhance Iowa's stand your ground law. It's true, we've got stand your ground law in the books. That was one of our signature fights. You guys were all involved in that. We passed that back in 2017. The problem with Iowa's stand your ground law, however, is that it still leaves the presumption of guilt on you and on me. So if you use your firearm in a defensive situation, it is up to you, it's up to me to prove our innocence in a court of law. But if you think about it, that's backwards. We believe that we're innocent until proven guilty in this country, and we believe that here in Iowa, but our stand your ground law does not reflect that. In dozens of other states all around America, even blue states, there is a blanket presumption of innocence that lies with the gun owner, and they cannot even be arrested unless the government finds probable cause they broke the law. And they're presumed innocent, not guilty, they're presumed innocent until they're convicted of a crime in a court of law. And what that does then is it prevents the Kyle Rittenhouse disaster that we all saw play out over the last couple of years. It prevents the Mark McCloskey mess from happening because unless there's probable cause, you can't be arrested just because. That's what Iowa needs. And also, Iowa's current laws only allow us to invoke stand your ground law upon an appeal after you've been convicted, after your life is a mess, after you're broke, after you've been through hell for a year or even two following a use of force defensive shooting. Our bill would also create a pre-trial immunity hearing process where your lawyer go before a judge and say, yes, Your Honor, my client shot this individual. Here's the reason why. We are invoking stand your ground law, and my client should never even be here in the first place. And if the judge agrees, guess what? You walk out the door a free man before you go through the misery of an expensive and very taxing, emotionally taxing criminal trial. So guys, we have three major bills: SEPA, banning red flags, and enhancing stand your ground law. All three of these should be an easy lift in a deep red state. But guys, you know this works. There's always going to be rhinos in these big Republican majorities that are working to sabotage these bills behind closed doors. Guys, we need your help to put the pressure on. Session begins in just a couple of weeks. Take a moment, guys, hit the link below, renew your support today for 2023. We have done so much together in the last 14 years. This is our 15th year now. Next year will be fighting for gun rights. We have done so much. Guys, there is so much more left to do. Hit the link, renew your support, share our video, and we'll keep you guys informed. Take care.